Okay, we're recording. Ready to go?
Okay.
All right.
Saturday, 4th of October, 2025, here in beautiful Snohomish.
Excuse me. What are you actually doing right now?
I'm doing the intro.
You are not.
I'm in the captain's chair. Like,
absolutely not. I don't care if you're. You could be. Look, if you're the captain, it's going to be the Titanic. No, it's not going to happen that way. All right. So we're going to cut all that. All right. Nice try. Saturday, 4th of October, 2025 at 12:05 p.m. here in Florence, Wisconsin, United States of America. And Mr. Henry?
in Snohomish, Washington.
It's only 10:05 there. Welcome once again to our cosmic journey. It is your Dev and Design podcast featuring two gentle boys that are in completely different places. I am your designer, Jake. He tried to be your host today because he's in the captain's chair. Engineer Trey. Hello, Trey.
Hello, Jake.
Don't violate boundaries like that. Oof, that hurt.
It felt weird.
That felt weird. But like one time, hey, let us know in the comments. You do every week. Do you want Trey to actually do the intro? You just let us know down here. I think Trey's feeling sassy because we are in what we call the pre-culmination period of the release. What is a pre-culmination period for a release? Well, it's that thing where you promise somebody that you're going to release something and then you can't do it because you have horrible bugs and that those things would create poor charting. We can talk a little bit about what happened with that poor charting. That's what we're going to get down to, this thing that says the scourge of local mean time. We'll talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll have a little bit of Zodiacal Releasing edits because, of course, even though we're fixing bugs, we're still here to create great experiences for you. But before we get to all of that, of course, it is going to be my check-in question. Mr. Henry, are you ready? You're in the captain's chair. You're in the captain's chair. You got to be ready, right?
Yeah. If you sit in this chair, you got to be ready.
You got to be ready. That chair is readiness supreme. Okay. It's been kind of a boner week where we promised you that we were going to release something. We haven't released it yet. And I'm wondering from you, Mr. Henry, what is the last time you felt this amount of anticipation for something to actually culminate? Not things that you feel like you need to culminate now, but things that have culminated in the past and the anticipation that you had for it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you.
I mean, the thing that's coming off the top of my head is just getting Urania out. No, because it was so long and I was doing that thing because I was only doing it myself. And it was just kind of like a side project, hobby project kind of thing. And I couldn't release it because I was terrified. And so I just kept finding reasons to kind of delay. And then I was on the Urania podcast with our good friend and lovely person, Eric, who is. And we should drop a link to that. I'm sure we've linked to his show before. It's a great show.
It's an Eric show.
But he basically was like, yeah, tell me about your vaporware. And I was like, oh, no, sir. You will not.
This is how Trey gets me to uncork things as well. Like what Trey will say is like, well, I just don't think that you have it in you to do it. He doesn't say it like that nasty, but essentially what he implies is like, nah, if you actually cared about it, you would just do it. And I'm like, oh, I will show you. Like, I'm just going to do it. And you're like, yeah, you taught me a lesson. You did that with many of my card games also. I felt the same way, or I was like, well, it's not right. It doesn't feel right enough. And you're like, okay, well, I guess a more talented person could just do it. What? Excuse me?
I don't remember saying exactly that.
No, it's what I heard. Just remember, communication is two ways. It's not only what the person says, but it's what the person hears.
Yeah. What about you? What's something that you were like really anticipating?
For me, I think it was our move to Berlin because I was stuck. Okay, so first of all, I should note for a second here, if the sound is terrible, look, I don't have headphones right now. We've got a problem. So if you're hearing echoes, hey, all good. It'll be better next week, trust me. But for now, and also Trey's video looks like crap because, that's just the internet we're dealing with right now. For me, there was this, I was working on a project with Nike. It would never end. They had this kind of slow drip of like, oh, we just need Jake for one more thing. We need Jake for one more thing. And we had this like expiration date ongoing. And it wasn't until we booked the flights and everything that I was like, it's real. It's happening. Like, yeah, I know you could in theory change the flights, but I'm not changing these flights. Like we're going. And it just felt like once we were on that plane, then it was like, oh, thank God. Like, it's just like, it was just like so much buildup for this formative event that, I mean, like I said, well, I wasn't going to talk about the future, but it's happening again right now. And so I'm just reminded of those times.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely salient and relevant. Both actually are super salient and relevant. Both our answers to our current situation.
Truly, which we will talk about in a different episode because we're going to get this one done real quick for you. Mr. Henry, you did some Zodiacal releasing changes. Do you want to talk a little bit about what you had done? Do you want to show your screen at all, or do you just want to talk through it?
No. Yeah, I do want to show my screen. Sorry. I just realized that I wasn't doing.
Yeah, I just realized also because I looked at I looked at this and I was like, wow, that's a great screen. Okay, anyways, you're doing it now.
Does that look okay?
Yeah, I mean, we're here. Let's just go for it.
Okay. Well, anyway, this will be really quick. I'm just casting a birth chart here. Let's do it. We'll do it for Snohomish, and we'll just do it like in 1970, let's say, for right now. And because the only thing I want to show you, also, I am demoing in Simple Dark today.
Simple Dark.
Why not?
Yeah.
It
looks great.
Simple Dark is the theme that you're seeing.
It looks great. I still really like.
Yeah, no gradients and stuff like that. And then this is all stuff that you've seen already. However, the new thing here is if you have a birth moment, and the perspective for the birth moment has lots being calculated for it, then you can click the Zodiacal Releasing button and get to do the Zodiacal Releasing Periods.
Amazing.
Hoorah.
And eventually this will be designed in a more complete fashion. But you know what? It works for now. It shows you the periods and they're correct.
Yeah, exactly. This it's like this was the intern's project for the most part, and so it's still going to need some productionization.
Yeah, but we're doing it.
But yeah, we're doing it, and it's we've fixed a few bugs here. For example, we don't show loosening of the bond periods. If there's not going to be a loosening of the bond in the segment, or in that particular.
Talk about like a blue balls move right there. You're like, oh, you have a pre-LB period, but you don't actually have an LB period. Like that's just mean.
It's just weird. Yeah. So we would show here one. Yeah. Anyway, that was the primary thing there was just that we did a whole bunch of bug fixes, and I'm just not going to show any of them because otherwise we would just have it. The software is better than it was last week.
And let's talk about like the LMT changes or local mean time changes. And the reason that these came about is because I was making green screen videos, which I am not going to show you because they are of low quality. Right. But I was going to go through a chart from the 1820s, if I remember correctly. There was a very famous American that I want to go through the chart. And not only... Thank you. Not only talk about them and how amazing their chart is, but also show you all of the functions and features of Cosmic to help you to deconstruct life moments in a much better and easier fashion. And when I cast her chart, I saw that the ascendant was off by like 4 degrees. And I was like, okay, I don't understand exactly why that is. And I was like going to astro.com and I went to AstroSeek and I'm like, well, they're doing it differently. And then Trey had to go down this very long, arduous road to figure out a little bit about why our casting was different than other sites. Do you want to talk a little bit about like what that journey felt like for you?
As painful as every other time that we've had to deal with dates and times and time zones.
Which is, it's not fun or helpful. Do you know generally like what the root problem was?
Yeah, and we're working on it right now. So we actually had a friend of ours who was looking at the software point out that like, oh, what's this weird like GMT minus 4 hours 5 minutes 28 seconds. And I was like, oh, that's LMT, which for those that don't know is local mean time. It's how people used to do time zones before we had time zones for a long,
we had railroad time.
Before we had railroad time, which we should probably do an episode on.
I remember talking about railroad time in the past. And if that did happen, it's up there. I'm not looking for it today, but maybe one day in the future, you'll see it up there.
Yeah. But anyway, the thing about LMT, it's actually very easy to calculate. You basically just like, there's a constant that you multiply the longitude of the location by. So it's basically just, you know, it's accounting for time at whatever the location is. However, we were doing it wrong because we were doing it based on the location of the time zone, the modern time zone, and not the actual like
Location of the place.
So it was always just a little bit off. And actually getting it to be correct is a lot trickier than it sounds, because as with everything with dates and times, it varies. And so all over the world, for all of the locations, when you switch over to calculating LMT is different.
Horrible.
India held out, lots of places in India held out until the 1960s. And then, you know, but then other places, you know, it happened in like the 1820s, the 1830s, you know, sometimes even earlier, like the UK, I think was the first. Anyway, so all that to say, we now have to basically like track for all of our locations. We have to have like when you switch over to LMT, then calculate LMT correctly. All of that's actually done. Right now, I'm just working on the UI portion of it so that our date here does the right thing.
Yeah.
So that was, I think this is kind of like the last big thing. And then we have still just a couple of little things around the app that we need to do. Like we need to, you know, like we need to do signing and stapling for Apple.
Hey, you know what? There's just some operational stuff that has to happen. Don't worry about it. So we have to fix the LMT thing. We'll do the operational stuff, and then it will be out until I make the marketing pages and landing pages, and I send out like all of the social media things, the newsletter things. Like my whole social media thing went off a cliff. I have, like, after this whole thing that happened with the green screen test, which looked great, but the chart was wrong. I was like, you know what? I'm taking a break off of social media because I can't handle this idea of like, talk about like lack of uncorking. I'm like, look, I've set up a green screen. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. And I'm like, oh, the software is doing it wrong. And now I understand why marketers get really upset at product people. We're like, come on. It's like you are slapping the penises right out of my mouth. Like, I'm working here.
Good job not cursing.
Yeah. Although, did I not curse? Well, okay. There's not cursing, and then there's still being viscerally awful. So, like, what I was still viscerally.
That's true. But you never said that you weren't going to be viscerally awful. You just said that you weren't going to curse.
That's true. Check the receipts, everyone. I never said I wasn't going to be viscerally awful. All right, Mr. Henry, what should the good viewer do with their time and energy while we figure out our place in space today here?
Enjoy a beautiful beverage that you love, like some coffee, some tea. It's autumnal right now. You know, if it's early in the morning, maybe have a little bit of coffee. If coffee's your thing,
yeah.
Even if coffee's not your thing, have some coffee. You can have decaf. That's fine.
You could even have coffee in this cup that is like styled like 1992 that my mother's held on to for like 40 years for some reason. Who knows why she still has this cup? It's kind of vaguely Christmas-like, but also very pastel and that kind of 90s thing. Anyways, be well, take care. We love you very much. Thanks for joining us this weekend. We hope that you have a lovely weekend or whatever day you watch this video. We'll see you again next week. And until then, auf Wiedersehen. Mwah.
Ciao.